Hey, y'all. Welcome back to our little cozy corner of the internet. This is going to be a super casual video, probably mainly for my regular and semi-regular viewers. A couple people asked me some questions about the channel, and now that I'm going to be honest, I don't know what day this is. It's day 80 something. So rapidly approaching that first goal that I mentioned in a lot of my videos. Like the first goal is 100 days of daily posting. And that's coming up so fast. um yeah, so anyway, I guess let's get right into it. And then I have like a mini update at the end. I have a new goal that I've set for myself, and I kind of want to put it out into the ether. Whether it happens or not, we'll see. But there's a new thing that I'm working toward, and yeah, just wanted to share a new goal. So, first and foremost, one of my friends asked me probably like a week or two ago now, would you be or how would you feel if someone that knew you personally but you hadn't explicitly told about the channel found one of your videos? Like, for example, if you were at a party, if you were out to dinner with friends or whatever, and someone that you hadn't told about the channel mentioned, like, oh, hey, I didn't know you had a YouTube channel. I saw one of your videos pop up on my feed recently. How would you feel? And I locked up. there's there's something about that makes me so nervous, and I was giving it some thought. I There's something that's so uncomfortable, that's so vulnerable about being seen in process by people that I know personally, and I'm not really sure why that is. It's yeah, I'm just not sure why I get that like immediate, this is uncomfortable. And he asked some follow-up questions. He was like, is it because you feel like your opinions might offend someone? Is it like you feel like you're saying something super controversial? And I don't think any of that's true. Like, any of the opinions that I express on this channel, I will tell you to your face. I will talk about openly. It's not that. It just, I don't know. I don't know. And it's crazy because I made a video on this. I specifically made a video on how all of us are afraid of being seen in process and why it's probably more beneficial if more of us were to show that process. Um but yeah, I think there's a very specific vulnerability with putting yourself out there on a platform that's this public, where you know that even though you know there are a lot of people that want to be content creators or want to get to the point where they're monetized on YouTube, or maybe they're, posting on Instagram and they want to get a brand deal there. They want to start selling products or whatever. Like, there are a lot of people who want to and are getting into this space and trying to make it work. And so it's not that it's super taboo or anything. It just, I don't know. I feel like until I get to the point where, because I already, not that it's, and I'm processing this in real time, so you have to forgive me. But it's not that I don't feel that the channel is a success so far, just because part of my kind of metric is my ability to stay consistent, my ability and willingness to articulate my thoughts and feelings more effectively, to put myself out there kind of unabashedly. And I think there's something really impactful about having this much. I don't want it to sound vain, but I do think there's something very impactful about having this much like footage of myself talking. Like, it sounds morbid, but if I were to die tomorrow, like if I walked outside and got hit by a car, or something. I think it's really beautiful that the people that I love can come back to these videos, even though I'm not talking about them, even though in most of these videos I'm not talking about like, oh, I remember the days when I was strolling down the street with my parents and we used to do X, Y, and Z and me and my cousin, you know what I mean? I think there's something really cool about having this documented and like in a public place. So there's that. But I think from an external lens, most people wouldn't view something like this as a success until there's like something I can show for it. Even if, I'm not the type of person to be like, pulling out my analytics and be like, look how much I made in like a random conversation with someone. Although I do appreciate the videos where people talk about like, hey, I've been monetized on YouTube for 6 months or a year or however long, and this is how much I made. I appreciate those videos. And I'm honestly open to making them later on if I do end up getting to the point where I'm monetized. But it's still so uncomfortable for me to even have the thought of somebody that knows me personally seeing me try this very vulnerable thing, even though I'm putting myself out there for random internet strangers. Like, I don't know. This is something that I have to unpack and think about more deeply, because I really have been sitting with that, like, why am I so uncomfortable with the thought of someone like someone that I know just finding my channel? And it's funny because there was even a point, 2 of my videos kind of popped off randomly. And when I say popped off, for me, popped off is like 150 views. Okay. And I think one of them just crossed the 200 view mark, which is like flabbergasting to me. But even as I was like watching the views on that video climb, I got this like, it's like dread within myself. It's like, oh my gosh, there's somebody that I know has found the video and they're sharing it around, and all these people know that I'm posting on YouTube now, which is not something that I wanted this early on. And I'm going to get a text message from somebody, from one of my family members, being like, when did you start this project? Like, thankfully, I don't think that's what happened. I think it's just random people finding that particular video. But yeah, like, why is that so uncomfortable? I don't know. I gotta unpack that. That's something I've been thinking about. Not gonna bore you anymore after yapping about it for 10 minutes. But the other thing that someone asked is, what is your goal? And what's the plan after you hit the 100 days, or if I end up going all the way to 365, which I would like to. I feel like that's something's got to happen at 365 days, or between here and 365 days. But I think like the ultimate goal would be to make a secondary income from this, even if it doesn't replace my full-time job, which I don't expect it to, honestly. But to make some income from this, and I'm not really sure what that looks like. I think the most obvious thing is monetization, right? But I also think that I went into this feeling like there were things that I could teach other people, whether it was, career stuff, setting up a LinkedIn. There are so many people who offer like LinkedIn setup services and stuff. Not necessarily sure that's the exact route I want to go, but I feel like there are, especially right now in this job market, there are a lot of people who are trying to break into this space, and it's getting increasingly difficult. And now that I've done it, I think there's value in being able to show other people like the skills in order to do it for themselves. So I think about that sometimes as well. That's part of the reason why, especially at the beginning of my channel, if you go back, there are a lot of videos on LinkedIn and interviewing and standing out for hiring managers and that sort of thing. But now that I'm talking about more things, I feel like there's other avenues that are kind of opening up, and I don't want to pigeonhole myself into anything. I also think that my audience is still very small, and as it grows, I'm willing to allow my platform and my voice to change because my life is going to change. Like I'm going to go through different stages of life. I think right now, my channel is kind of anchored on a lot of the big life changes that I've made, some of my own just thoughts and feelings on things going on in the world and trends and my views on certain trends, I'll say, rather than trends themselves, and career stuff, and also travel, right? Travel is a big part of that as well. But my life is going to look very different in another 100 days. Maybe it will, maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I know my life will look different in a full 365, and I want to remain flexible and remain open to kind of the ebbs and flows of my life. I don't want it to get to the point where I've been posting every day for 2 years and I've been talking about the same thing because I'm locked into a particular thing. So there's that. I think as my audience grows, as I see what people respond to, especially when it's like random topics that I'm talking about, there are a couple of videos where I was like, why do these videos have so many views? Like, if you saw the one where, I think it's the second one where I was sitting in an airport, I think the title is like Honest Critics Are Invaluable, honest, something like that. Now, mind you, people don't stay on that video, but people clicked on it way more than I thought they would. So even as I talk about like random topics or whatever, I think other themes of the channel will probably emerge and will probably give me more ideas on other ways to monetize, whether there's other things that I can teach people or show people or encourage people or inspire people to do. And so I'm open to that as well. Yeah. So I don't know. I also think that when I look at my life, there are multiple things that didn't seem like they were working in the beginning. And I had to make tweaks. I had to iterate. I had to experiment before I figured out what worked. And once it worked, it really, really worked. For example, I talk about my job search all the time. It was like a year of unsuccessfully trying to pivot into a different career. And it felt like I was hitting a wall. I tried to go into a different like role, a different department before, got basically zero traction there. And then when I decided that I was going to go into software sales, there was a period of time again where I really wasn't getting the results that I wanted. And it took a couple months of trying different things, of doing a ton of research, of figuring it out. And then once I did that, everything happened within the span of 4 weeks. Like once I nailed down that process, I've said it before, I got 4 job offers in 4 weeks, which is insane. Now, granted, I do think the job market is different now, but it wasn't great then. So there's that, or even, I don't think I've ever talked about it on the channel, but I ran a virtual assistant business for about a year, and it was like, for a few months, nothing, zero business, zilch, nada, nothing. And then once I started getting clients, I was making like $3,500 a month working part-time. So like once I got it going, again, it took a minute for me to figure it out, but I think that, yeah, it's just kind of been a reoccurring theme of me trying things and staying persistent at it. And when I am persistent at it, it works. And I feel like that's kind of what YouTube is going to end up being. Hopefully, maybe not, but hopefully. Because I've been consistent, I feel like I've already passed a whole lot of people on the platform, and that's not to be it's not to be arrogant, it's not to be cocky or anything, but few people can say that they've posted this many videos, and even smaller number of people can say that they've been consistent for any period of time, let alone every single day, or mostly every single day. If y'all know, you know. Like mostly every single day. And few people can probably say confidently that they're going to be able to continue. So I already feel like with just that, I've put myself in kind of a different level. And now I'm kind of at the point where I'm thinking about, okay, what needs to be iterated on? Is it just a matter of continuing to do what I'm doing? Is it a matter of changing the content format? Is it a matter of talking about different things that I haven't talked about on this channel? Is it a matter of honing in on one specific topic? Is it a matter of talking about travel more? Is it what, like what is it? And I'm not really sure. I think with time and with repetition will come clarity, and that clarity hopefully will bring a little more success in terms of monetization and viewership and that sort of thing. So there's that. Yeah, I think it can be really easy to look at a process like this and get frustrated. I think that's why a lot of people aren't successful, is because it's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to feel like, why am I doing this? Especially in a format like this where, most of the time when I make these videos, it's like, it's not super dissimilar from when I'm on FaceTime with one of my friends, right? Like, there's maybe only a handful of videos that have any edits in them whatsoever. There's been multiple videos where I've had to like get up and do something and I leave the little gap in. So again, it's funny because Glow Atonmo, the creator that inspired me to start this in the first place, she had a recent video where she basically said a similar thing. Like, if I'm on FaceTime with you and I need to go run to grab a cup of water, generally speaking, I'm not gonna be like, okay, hold on, let me call you right back. I'm just gonna run and get the cup of water and come back. Like, there's no edits when you're having a real conversation with one of your friends. You say, girl, I don't know. What, let me think, it kind of flows like that. And I'm kind of doing a similar thing. I think for the people that do find me and who I resonate with, this format is nice because, even for me, I watch a lot of creators who it's almost like a comfort creator. It's channels and people who feel like you're just hanging out with them, whether it's like, the trash reality TV where I don't even watch the show, but I watch other people who watch the show and I listen to them yap about it, or it's someone talking about something super niche that I personally have no interest in, but I think it's cool that they're interested in it and they can talk about it passionately. And I'll have those videos like in the background while I'm cleaning or washing dishes or going on a walk or whatever, in between the music that I listen to. And I kind of feel like that's a similar thing here. Like, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of videos I have where they're very informative, where I'm giving a lot of valuable information, I think. There are videos where I talk about very specific things where I wouldn't be going down a list of like first XYZ, two, one, two, three, like, but generally it's just me and you talking. And I like that format. Um, yeah. So I don't know. I going back to the original point that I very clearly lost because today's a yapping type video. I think it's easy to just give up because you don't see the results. And honestly, maybe that's why it makes me nervous for like somebody I know to find the channel too. Is like, what is she doing? Why is she still going? Like, it's obviously not working. Why is she still going? And I don't necessarily view it that way, but you know. Um, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I gotta think more on that. But for now, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna see what happens. I wanna let the audience and the viewership kind of steer me in whatever direction. So we're going to keep yapping for now. And lastly, okay, I did tease that there was a little bit of a new goal that I set for myself. And mind you, most of these goals that I have are for a specific purpose. It's to free myself up to do the things that I feel like really matter, the things that I care about the most, the things that I feel like are most impactful in my life, the things that I enjoy the most. And right now, that's my ministry. So if I can figure out a way to make more money doing something that doesn't require a ton of time or mind space from me, and will allow me to have a little bit more flexibility in income so that I have the opportunity to spend more time doing the things that I really enjoy, then that's what it is. And then there's also aspects of it that, like, okay, this world is crazy, so security I feel like is kind of a fleeting concept anyway. But there's a level of like these days having multiple sources of income and whatnot. I think it's talked about a lot, but it is very important so that you're not in like dire straits. It can still happen, but you know what I mean. So anywho, I want to set the goal that I think the timeline might need to be amended because by the end of the year honestly feels like too long. I don't think it'll take that long. But my new goal is to get a brand deal on LinkedIn. I know. It's a bit of a weird one. But I know people who are doing it, like currently are doing it. I know it's possible, and I also know it's possible with a relatively small audience. I also think that I already have a decent amount of practice in creating LinkedIn content. It's actually interesting because one of my friends kind of found out about this channel by looking at my LinkedIn. She was looking at like a couple of the videos that I made specifically for LinkedIn and for my job. And she was like, "Do you have a YouTube channel? If not, you should start one." And it was like day 3 of me posting on YouTube daily, which is it really is funny how that happened because it was right at the beginning of me posting every day. She's like, "Do you have a YouTube channel?" I'm like, "Well, dang, I wasn't even gonna tell nobody." um, yeah. So, anywho, I think with a little bit more effort and some time, I think that opportunity is open. I don't think nearly enough people are taking advantage of LinkedIn the way they should be, but I also think that right now there's kind of a shift happening on the platform where companies and employees are seeing the value in posting there. There are a lot of people who post on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. There are people that post here on YouTube too, but you know what I mean. Like when they not multi-thread, but when they post on multiple platforms, LinkedIn is included if it has anything to do with career progression, with industry specific news. And yeah, I think I'm good at it. I could be good at it, and I want some of that LinkedIn money. Okay? I think LinkedIn has so much potential, not just to help you propel your career forward, you know, in order to like help you get a job, for example. But I think there's a lot of leverage these days in having a LinkedIn audience, and more companies are sponsoring LinkedIn posts. They're sponsoring LinkedIn creators, and I want to get a piece of that pie. I want to see if it's possible. So that's my goal. The tentative is by the end of the year, but I really don't think I'm going to need that much time. Like it's what, April? We're in month 4. I don't think I'm going to need that much time. Yeah. So still trying to figure out how that's going to work. I've been posting a little bit more consistently because I have been a little inconsistent with my posts. But anywho, I want to see how that goes. So we'll see. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys if you're still here for watching this video. I don't know how I do this. I've been yapping for 26 minutes and 25 seconds. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Maybe I was cut out for YouTube, because one thing your girl can do is talk. I need to get paid for flapping my gums, honestly, because, Lord, I spend so much time doing it. But anywho, if this is your first time here, thank you for making it this far into the video. I don't know why, if you don't know who I am, why you would still be here, but I appreciate it. Yeah. Also, you know what? I have a couple more things to say. One thing that I think is so cool at this stage of my growth is that I see every subscriber and I appreciate every subscriber. Like, a lot of people have their the like setting turned on where if you subscribe to a channel, nobody can see it, which I don't mind. That doesn't bother me at all. But I always see when the number gets added by one. And I also think that's really cool about the stage that I'm at. Like, I have noticed every single subscriber that has subscribed to this channel. I think it's so cool. I appreciate all of it. And yeah, just know that like just about every time I get a subscriber, one of my friends gets a text message, guys, I'm at 61, guys, I'm at 35 subscribers, guys, like, it is acknowledged, it's seen, it's appreciated. So anywho, now I'm done talking. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.